What's up, guys? How you all doing? Cosmic Carrie here, bringing another World of Tanks video. For those of you that are new here, please feel free to subscribe. I will bring you a video every single day for the rest of my life, forever and ever. And for those of you that are regular subscribers, regular viewers, welcome one and all to my review of my time so far in the Death Star, the FV215b, whatever it's called. I put it in the title, the description, but to me it's the Death Star. It's what everybody refers to. It's the Death Star. Look at this gentleman here. I'm like, should I waste the shell? 87 hit points, big deal, using my premium ammo. Yeah, ridiculous. But this is my review of my time so far in the Death Star. I've only been in it for 2 or 3 days, and I kind of, I've got a knack for sussing out my tanks kind of pretty early. Not a knack. I mean, I'm smart, intelligent guy, what have you. But yeah, my time so far. I've bought it on Monday. I've played like 2-3 games. 2-3 games. I've been playing in it for 2-3 days, and this is a kind of like a mini review, just like in the Tortoise kind of thing, of my time so far in the Death Star. And I have to say, you read the reviews, you watch the reviews, on YouTube about new tanks that you're about to get, and I've learned not to, trust the reviews, not to trust your opinions when you watch these reviews, because nothing can compare, nothing can prepare you for when you're actually in the tank. When you're actually in the tank and you get the feel of the tank and you try it out for yourself, you cannot make a judgment on the tank, and I've learned that, like with the Tortoise and the Tog, etc, etc. And I'm not saying this is a bad tank, no way, but when I got the Death Star, before getting the Death Star, I was like, expect the unexpected. Aha, I failed. Expect the unexpected, and that way you won't be surprised, kind of thing. And so, hey ho, let's go. Let's do my review. Before, again, I get into it, I think this is, this tank is, it's never have I played a tank before where equipment was so much needed, where the skills and perks were so much needed, where it was lacking in so many departments. Because I kind of look at this and beautiful shot. Yeah, wow, fantastic. Never before has a tank needed the skills, the perks, the equipment, that I need for this tank. In the Tortoise, in the E100, whatever kind of defects those tanks had, I could deal with. I could figure out a way around, those inadequacies, those shortcomings. But with this tank, it's kind of like I really feel I need this and I need that, and Okay, so let's get into my review. So you guys know what I'm talking about. The Death Star, 2,000 hit points. 2,000 hit points. I believe that's the same as the Tortoise. So you got an upper tier, but you're not, increasing in hit points. That's the first thing. The armor of this thing on paper is decent. It's good. It's not fantastic. It's not amazing. But the thing about the armor on this thing is, I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe it has a number of weak points that people aren't aware of. If you look at the Tortoise, it's like the Commander's Hatch. If you look at the E100, it's the low plate. It's in each and every tank, it's this, it's that. With this tank, I believe there are weak points on this tank that people haven't figured out yet. Either that, or it has terrible armor. It could be that, actually, because it really does have pathetic armor. The armor really does let you down. If you're caught out in the open, like I was in the game before, but that's my own fault. Because like I said before, what the hell are TDs doing up front and the heavies are in the back? you know. But if you're caught out in the open with the armor of this tank, you will die. You know, here you go. Here's a typical example. I'm caught out in the open. You know, okay, you know, it wasn't your average Joe Schmo tank that hit me. It was another Death Star. But still, if you're caught out in the open with the armor of this thing, you will die. You know, and I believe it's because if you look at the tank, it's got that plate, this plate. You know, it's got multiple surfaces on the facades, on the turret, and it's, you know, on paper, which piece of metal has this amount of penetration, which, you know, I think it has multiple weak points. I don't have a clue, you know, because with 2,000 hit points, you shouldn't be dying so quick, which it does seem to be happening to me in this tank. I do seem to be losing my health like in a blink of an eye, you know, and it's just got crappy armor. What can I say? You know, but let's say something good about the tank. Let's say something good about the tank. It's got I think it's 800 horsepower, which makes it really fast and mobile tank. I mean, I've only had the Tortoise as far as the British tank destroyers. You know, that is the only other British tank destroyer that I've had. And as far as I'm aware, from my experience of seeing other British tank destroyers in battlefield and games and battles, they all seem to be slow. You know, so this is like a big break from the norm. This tier 10 British tank destroyer, because it's mobile, it's quick, it's fast. You know, it really is. It's really good. And let's talk about the gun. Well, no, let's talk about something else that's positive on this tank. The ammo. Okay, the ammo. Of course, it's fantastic. Of course, it's amazing. It's the Death Star. That's why they nicknamed it the Death Star. You know. But there are drawbacks. You know. With the high explosives ammo, the penetration is so abysmal. It's like 50 or something like that, 25 to, I don't know, something abysmal. Like I said, I'm not about the figures. I'll give you the specifics. You know, boof kind of thing. The high explosive ammo, the penetration is so lousy. You're not gonna use it. You know, because your reload speed is so slow. You need to be using the ammo that is going to be effective. You know, you need to be using the ammo that is going to be effective. So all you have left, as far as choices is concerned, is the other two: the premium or the ammo piercing. Now the ammo piercing is fantastic. It's, you know, it's decent. It's really what am I talking about? You know, you're one-shotting. You know, tier 8s, tier 9. You know. Fantastic, you know, of course it's fantastic, but the premium ammo is something else. It's unbelievably good, you know, unbelievably high, you know, damage rolls. But the thing is, it costs an arm and a leg, you know, to shoot these shells. It really does. It's very, very expensive. And because I'm just starting out in this tank, initially I was using premiums. But what I found was I was losing money each and every game because, you know, 20,000 to repair this tank plus the premium ammo used. As you can see in this game, I've kind of switched it up. I've got standards, 10 standards and 2 premiums. But I was going negative as far as silver coinage was concerned. You know, I was just losing money each and every game. 20,000 to repair the tank, 20 something, plus, you know, the premium ammo used, and I can't remember the specifics of, you know, how much it was. It was 4 to 6 pounds. It was just unbelievably expensive, and I found myself, when I initially bought the Death Star, I only had like 150,000 silver coins left. And I was reaching zero, you know, after 4 or 5 6 games, you know, I was almost hitting 0. I was almost going minus. I was going to have an overdraft in World of Tanks. I mean, I don't know how it works in World of Tanks. Can you go minus? I don't know. I guess that would be considered an overdraft. Yeah, I know. So all you're left with is you have to use the standard stuff. You have to use the standard stuff until I get, you know, the equipment that I want, the equipment that I need. Pounds. You know, until I get good in this tank, you know, I'm not going to be using the premium stuff. You know, I made a big mistake using the premium stuff. I was like, oh, let's go for, you know, the big shots, the big kills, straight off the bat. You know, sticking on YouTube. You know, well, look at me. No, it's not going to work like that. This tank works against you. You know, if you don't know how to use it. You know, seriously, it does. The gun, machine. Look at that, 1188 with the standard ammo. That's fantastic. You know, I don't mind not using the premium, but the gun also lets this tank down. It has, you know, terrible accuracy. The reload time is abysmal. It's 2 rounds per minute. 2 rounds per minute. I mean, in a 15-minute game, even if it was fully loaded, you would only have 30 shells. You know, if you're playing assault 10 minutes, you know, if it was fully loaded, you'd only have 20 rounds. You know, it's abysmal. I'm looking at the game now. This is kind of, you can see the score 3-5, and this was the point where, you know, it was like clutch. You know, it could have went this way, it could have went that way. And I really thought I had this in the back. Anyway, the gun. Yeah, we were talking about the reload time. 2 rounds per minute. So I need to get, you know, the equipment to compensate for these defects on this tank. I really do. Aiming time as well. 3.5 seconds. I think it is 3-point-something seconds. It just takes forever. You know, it takes forever. And the thing is, I don't have 6th sense on this thing, so I'm aiming. You know, I've got the guy in my scopes, and I'm aiming, and it's taking forever to aim. And I'm like, look at this, look at this. This was the clutch moment. Oof. I couldn't believe it. If I'd taken that guy out, possibly that whole flank could have got shut down, and now I've alerted them to my presence. Look, I've got the E100 up on the bridge. I've got that flank is alerted to me, and that tortoise, you know, he sees me, and this whole game, with that miss, this whole game went to crap, you know, went to shit. Look, wonderful, 1227. So what? So what? Because this tortoise knows how slow my reload speed is, so he moves in, no problemo. Diplomatic immunity takes me out. You know, you have to play to the tank's strengths, and you have to play to the tank's weaknesses. You know, and this is another example. I'm on mines, and I'm doing what I normally do, which is trying to take the hill, and little by little, you know, I see that I'm totally lost. I'm totally out of my depth here on mines, and I don't have a role to play. And you know, because of it has bad gun depression. You know, because it's rear mounted turret, you can see. But and I'm just like, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. You know, I'm not being effective. And never before have I had a tank where have I got a tank where I bought a tank, purchased it, and all of that good stuff, and said to myself, man, I need that 6th sense. You need that 6th sense on this thing, because the armor is so piss poor. You know, you do not want to get caught out in the open. You know, getting caught out in the open is like a death wish. You're done for. You know, Also, what else do I need? I need the, what's it called, the gun rammer, you know, to reduce that reload time. You know, I need that. Well, I mean, it's going to reduce it by 10%, which is a big deal, you know. But still, it's something, you know. So often on the battlefield, you're about to shoot, and the guy just gets you that millisecond before you pull that trigger, you know. Those kind of situations, you need it, you know, you need it. The aiming time, I need the equipment for the aiming time. I believe it reduces it by, I think it's 20 seconds. It doesn't improve your accuracy, but it reduces that aiming time, which just takes forever. I think it's the vertical stabilizer or the gun lane drive, I can't remember. But these bits of equipment, these skills, these perks, you know, I need them for this tank. Not to show off or anything like that, trust me, believe me. But I just see so much potential in this tank. I'm like, oh, if only. I'm always thinking, if only. I need to, you know, I need to be given the full set of tools for this tank. And I think I could do bloody great in this tank. I think I could have so much fun. You know, the first and foremost thing that I'm working on is that sixth sense. You know, you just feel so naked, you feel totally bare, you feel totally vulnerable. There you go, 1185. You know, how am I not gonna do great with a tank that dispenses 1185 damage? You know, but I need that sixth sense. You know, because you're constantly hesitating, you're constantly, you know, you're apprehensive, you're second guessing. You know, am I pushing too far? You know, you see me in these games here, you know, fantastic hits, but I'm a nervous player in this tank, and you see me playing really nervous, you know, because I'm afraid to get caught out in the open, and that's every time I die, you know, because I get caught out in the open, you know, because I don't have, you know, that sixth sense. I'll be much more cautious, and if I did have it, you know, I'd survive a whole lot longer. You know, I really would. But when you look at this tank, you know, you're scratching your head. You know, every single tank in World of Tanks is unique. It's its own tank. You know, the Tortoise, the Tog, the E100. I am by no means some kind of aficionado on World of Tanks, you know, on each individual tanks, but the tanks so far, you know, they've all got their own, to me, their own personality, you know, their own way of doing things, their own way of the way you treat them, you know, look after them, you know, use them. And with this one, you know, I was kind of scratching my head because I was like, tank destroyer, you know, this is a tank. See that was a clutch shot, you know. If I had that 10% extra reload time, that's what I'm talking about. You know, it happens a million times in World of Tanks. You just got that extra millisecond, you could have killed the guy. But anyway, so I was scratching my head. I was like, is this a tank destroyer? Is this a tank destroyer? You know, because usually the tank destroyers, they have the fantastic armor, and this by no means has fantastic armor. You know. And it has very shitty armor. And I was kind of googling the FV215b, and you know, the real version of this tank. You know, most of the tanks, if not all of the tanks, I guess in World of Tanks are based on real tanks. And I was kind of googling this one. I couldn't find anything, and eventually I found something where it was never actually built, not even a prototype, I believe, and it was just on paper. You know, maybe somebody just had an idea. I haven't got a clue. And I kind of feel like possibly like Wargaming.net kind of just went for it with this tank. You know, we can do whatever we like with this tank. We can make it what we like. What I'm trying to get to is, how is this tank not a piece of artillery, is what I'm saying. This tank is a piece of artillery, in my opinion, you know, because it has, okay, it's a tank, yes, it's a tank, but I think on paper, this tank originally might have started off as a piece of artillery, because it has terrible reload speed, you know, aiming time is terrible, artillery, amazing damage, artillery, piss poor armor, artillery. How's this tank not a piece of artillery? You know, I'm rolling around in this thing, I shoot a shell, and then I duck and cover, you know, I duck and cover. Okay, you don't normally do that with artillery. Usually you're all the way in the back, you can just sit there and wait for it to reload. But I was thinking to myself, you know, I'm waiting for it to reload. This is just like when I have played artillery. It takes forever to reload, and you're kind of bored, I guess. And I'm wondering, yeah, I am wondering. I have been enjoying my time in this tank. In this final clip here on Mines, you see me doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, I finally kind of gave up on my previous strategies. And I said, you know what? You know, go up to the hill and be a TD. You know, be a sniper. Do your job. You know, and maybe things will change. You know, did they change? No. You know. See, I didn't let it zoom in, but the thing is, if you let it zoom in, you know, you're leaving yourself exposed. The target's going to disappear. You know, look at that reload speed. You're like, come on already, we're only halfway. Cheese and rice, we're only halfway. Are you kidding me? Look at this. Now we're 3/4 of the way. You know. Come on, move. No. There we go. That took forever. It's like an episode of, I don't know, Friends or something. You could have went and made a cup of tea in the meantime. But what the hell was I talking about? Half an hour, longest episode ever, of one take. I do not edit my audio. That's why I'm sometimes talking bullshit. But I think I'll do really well in this tank, and I'm really looking forward to using this tank, loading it up with the proper equipment. Come on. Yeah, there you go, 1039. And I'm going to have a great time. I'm going to have to keep using my E100, earning that silver, you know, so I can purchase all the equipment. In the meantime, I'll keep coming back to this tank, keep playing it, and this is me finally giving up and moving on forward. And I'm working on that 6th sense. I need to work on that 6th sense. I need to get that 6th sense, because the 6th sense will be this tank's best friend, because of the terrible, god awful armor. I meant let's move on for a minute from the Death Star. I mentioned this in the previous video. For those of you who didn't catch this, I have set up some Facebook pages for World of Tanks Xbox 360 players, where people can brag about their stats. I believe there's 4 or 5 pages set up. The links are in the description, and on these Facebook pages we can brag to each other about our highest XP, damage, general XP, spotting XP, highest number of kills, etc, etc. I thought it was a really cool idea. It didn't take me that long. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And see, look at this 8015. See, he's 6th sense in me, and I don't have the 6th sense. Anyway, so go ahead, post your stats at the end of the game. Pull out your phone, take a picture, post your stats. We can brag to each other. We can mock each other. We can interact. It's Facebook. You know, I thought it'd be kind of cool. Maybe, you know, I've started something really cool. Maybe I haven't. You know, like I said, it didn't take me that long to set up. But I thought it was personally, I thought it was a cool idea. Look at me standing off with that tier 8, shooting him straight in the middle, you know, as if he doesn't have, you know, his armor isn't angled. And I was just like, I'm in a tier 10, I can take you out, I just need to shoot in the middle. No, it's just, you know, that's me taking the game for granted, you know, taking this tank for granted. You know. So yeah, so check out those pages, have a look. I've actually posted one pic of my, what is it, the spotting XP. Take a look at that, see if you can beat it. Check it out. You know. And the stats of this game, you can see I'm right in the middle. And that's how I'm playing so far in this beast. Take it easy, guys. Adios, muchachos.